Hi, my name is Christina and I am a junior in college and I go to school in the US, and this was my first time solo traveling. As soon as I got to Taiwan, I bought an easy pass for the metro and took the express train to my hotel. The ride there was really relaxing, calm, and also super fast. Thankfully, because I took the express train, they didn't make as many stops. And as soon as I got to my hotel, I checked in and went up to my room. I am solo traveling on a budget, and this hotel room is so cute. I was originally planning to stay in hostels, but I found this place that has private rooms, but it's the same price as hostels, so this is the room tour. Granted, it was more dorm room style, bunk bed-esque. I'm not gonna lie, a lot better than my dorm room back in school, so I really liked the living conditions here and felt pretty safe. The first day was essentially all Feed Mei Mei recs. I love her videos and watched them in preparation to know where to go and where to eat, and I can tell you she did not disappoint in the slightest. Drink was so good that I think I might go back and get something else from that store because I'm just in awe. I completely finished it to the point where I'm about to eat the ice. It was a mocktail, so a little bit of kick in the raspberry that was in it, but it just tasted really fresh and refreshing on a day like today. So far, so good for the drinks. I went and explored the area. There were a bunch of cute shops selling little knickknacks as well as tea and a bunch of other things that I ended up buying. And then the next food place I went to was to get scallion pancakes. So good. It's $1, less than $1. The texture is just perfect. I walked over to an area near Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall and kind of sat there and chilled for a bit before actually going inside the memorial. And it was really cool because I came at the time they were changing guards, and so I watched their changing of the guard ceremony. And after walking around a little bit more, I found myself going to the Taipei Botanical Garden. I'm really interested in learning about plants and different herbs, and so walking around the garden and seeing kind of the more nature in Taipei was really cool for me. Finally, I got hungry, went to a night market close by that I could walk to. There were so many different stands here, and I took my food up to Xiangshan mountain because I wanted to eat with a bit of a view of the city. I mainly just had dumplings and stinky tofu. In terms of safety precautions, this was a really highly frequented route, and I did research beforehand on what the vibe would be. Also told 3 different people that I was going on this hike. Let me do a quick recap of my first day here in Taipei. First of all, I want to say how surprised I am that I didn't eat all my meals alone for lunch, which unfortunately I didn't really record or take that many pictures of. I was so surprised that these 2 Americans happened to be sitting at my table and they just looped me into their conversation, and I ended up exchanging Instagrams and contact information with them, and so that was really sweet. And I was oh, that's just kind of a rare thing, my dinner is gonna be alone, I'm going to a night market, etc. And so I go get dinner, walk to Xiangshan, and I meet someone there and essentially I eat while we talk and we're looking at the view, and so that was kind of a highlight of just meeting like interesting people here in the city. And I feel like it's really unique to solo traveling, because if you're here with someone else or a group, you guys would stick together and most likely won't end up meeting new people in the same way. So that was really nice. But I'm exhausted. When I was at the park, I literally almost fell asleep sitting down watching like the lilies flow in the wind. But I think I have adrenaline after hiking up that mountain. So I'm gonna get ready to sleep, but I think first day went well. Tomorrow I'm going to try to use more public transport though. My card apparently wasn't activated today, so I wasn't able to do too much. Like I couldn't bike, I couldn't take the transit for some reason, so I need to fix that tomorrow. But yeah, that was day 1. See you tomorrow. Okay, so day 2, what was originally on the itinerary was to go to Dr. Sun Yat-sen Memorial. However, it was closed when I went there, and so I kind of had a couple of hours of free time in the morning to just explore around Taipei 101, and I found this cute little kind of cluster of cafes and small shops, and not all of them were open, but I did go inside the ones that were. It was super aesthetic, and I got a lot of pictures of the scenery, which I enjoyed a lot. I ended up buying these really cute earrings from one of the stores. And honestly, I was glad that I was recording, because my intention for bringing my camera and, making a lot of videos on this trip was because I was worried that because I was alone solo traveling, I would feel kind of lonely. And I honestly didn't feel that lonely, because 1, I ended up having a lot of interactions with people I just met, and 2, it was kind of cool to be experiencing a bunch of different things. And so when you're experiencing them and your attention is on what's in front of you, you're not really thinking, oh, I feel alone right now. I ended up going to a cafe for going to my reservation to go all the way up to Taipei 101. And it was really cute. They kind of had it themed like a garden in the sky. There were tons of places to sit, and also a outdoor observation deck, which I went up to. I was feeling a bit hungry, so I ended up going to Tai Fung in the Taipei 101 building. I will say that this Tai Fung was much better than the ones in the US. The dumplings were basically melting in my mouth. And so after this, I wanted to return to Xiangshan because I wanted to see the sunset and get like those views of the city. And I think doing the hike in the daytime was also really nice because I could see more of like the nature around me, and I ended up talking to a lot of people on the way up. And once I reached the top, I was kind of eavesdropping in on a conversation next to me with a group of seemingly more young people, and they were talking about like In-N-Out and stuff in the US. So I kind of took a risk and just like introduced myself and asked if where they were from and whatnot. And turns out half of them were Americans, the other half were from Europe, and we ended up getting boba together, and then I invited them to go with me to Raohe night market. And so these are some of the things that we got and we shared. Super yummy and really fun to kind of meet a new group of people. This was such a fun day. So on Xiangshan, once again, I met new people, which was really fun. I heard like a group next to me talking in really good English, and I was low-key eavesdropping on them. They're talking about like, have you had In-N-Out? Have you done all these things? I'm like, I bet they're American. So I went and I was like, hey, like, are you guys American? Blah, blah, blah. And so 2 of them are from Europe, and everyone else was from the US. And they're like, oh, do you want to come? We're going to get boba soon, like right after the mountain. I was like, oh yeah, sure. So we walked and we went to a boba shop like right nearby, and then I told them, hey, like, I'm going to the night market, like the really famous one after this, you should join. And so they joined me at the night market. It was really fun, and yeah, it was just such a like random chance. They all met each other at the hostel they're staying in, and since my hostel isn't really a hostel, it's like a hotel, because pretty much everyone here has their own room. But it was really, really nice vibes, and I'm so glad that I kind of got over my fear. Like, I had a lot of maybe social anxiety. I think a year, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have gone over to a group of strangers alone and introduced myself. But I was like, what's the harm? As long as I'm aware, it'll be good. And it was. I'm very glad that I did that, because I ended up having a really nice night with them, and learning a lot about why they are slowly traveling, as well as their backgrounds. Like, one guy was like a doctor, the other one is like engineering major in college. They're all really young, and overall, great experience so far. Day 3 was my solo trip to Jiufen, and I started off with a really quick breakfast that I could take to go on the bus, just because I wanted to get an early start. And let me tell you, Taiwan's public transport system is just amazing. I was able to take a bus for about only $3 from Taipei to Jiufen, which was about an hour long. And it was so comfortable, really clean, fast, cute views as well. And once we got there, not only were the views really great, but I also learned that Jiufen is said to be the place that inspired Spirited Away. I checked online afterwards though, and I don't think it's completely true, but the city definitely gives very Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away vibes. There's so many cute shops selling really anything you can imagine, and they have a bunch of red lanterns that line the streets, and so at night I think it looked even more Studio Ghibli-esque, and they also had a lot of tunnels and nooks and crannies, so I was surprised as well that it wasn't super crowded. It's a big tourist destination. I mean, I went on a weekday and some shops were closed, but for the most part, there was always space to walk and kind of explore at my own pace. So I sat down, enjoyed the view, tried to do some journaling. I am really impressed. Took a $3 bus ride up here, and it was only about like 40-50 minutes long. And I expected it to be a lot more crowded, but the streets are surprisingly empty. I'm able to like get around pretty easy, explore what's here. Yeah, I think for the rest of the day I'm going to try to get some tea at like a tea house here. It's really famous. And then get lunch, explore a little bit more, see what else is here. This was a really last minute trip. I planned it last night at like midnight, but so far I've been really impressed. So I think they named it Jiufen because before, many years ago, there were only 9 families, which is Jiu in Mandarin, living on the island, and they would ask for 9 family portions of food. So 9 portions. So it's really cool. And it's also said that this place was the inspiration for Spirited Away, which I'm not 100% sure is true, but definitely roaming around is making me feel like I'm in that Studio Ghibli movie, a Studio Ghibli movie. It's almost magical, and I feel like I could just, I don't even know, get lost here in a good way. Right now I'm gonna look for a lunch or a tea spot and then explore a bit more and see what else I should do today. So I found this famous tea house, and I didn't have enough time to do the full tea ceremony. I believe it was also a little bit pricey, so I ended up just opting to get a bowl of beef noodle soup and tea, 1 cup of cold tea, and it was really great, really yummy. Loved the view. Also did some more journaling up here because I was so happy that I kind of was able to situate myself at a restaurant with yummy food with a nice view. I also did more research into what I wanted to do for the rest of the day. I found a cute touristy hiking spot that had really great reviews, and it also said that it's very like child friendly and anyone can do it. I was still a bit thirsty, so I ended up getting milk tea. It was amazing. Probably the best that I've ever had in my life, to be honest with you. And before going on the hike, I walked around a bit more and got the famous Jiufen taro balls. They were really yummy, especially for a hot day. Inside, besides the taro balls, there was like these mango ones and a bunch of ice and other things that I'm not exactly sure of, but it was super yummy, and I also ate it in front of a really nice view. So eventually I went to the hiking trail. Even though it was kind of hot weather, the trail itself had a bunch of like trees that gave so much shade. So when I was walking up there, it felt very comfortable and the steps were quite paved. Okay guys, I'm not gonna lie, I have like half a bottle of water, so I think that will sustain me. But I'm going to attempt this hike. This is like one of the best boba milk teas I've ever had in my life. Like, so good. The boba like literally melted in my mouth. But this is a really cute view here. Yeah. Oh my gosh, wait, it's so pretty. Look at that. Okay, let's go. Look at how ominous this is. It's like right out of a fairy tale. But not very, the rocks are not very even, so I don't think anyone could realistically bike up here. But the vibes are immaculate. 10 out of 10. tell me I am not in fairy tale right now. Like, just look at that. It's beautiful. You guys, stop. This is amazing. Amazing. This is the first lookout point, but I'm gonna definitely go higher to the main one and maybe wait there. I felt like it was a good hike to do alone, but once again, as a safety disclaimer, I told like 3 people that I was going on this hike, one of whom is in Taiwan, another in China, and one in the US, and I gave them exact times that I would be checking in. They had my location and everything, and also I happen to have internet connection on this hike anyways, so it was pretty convenient for me, and I was texting people on the way up for sure. But yeah, there were people at the top who I had conversation with, practiced my Mandarin a little bit there, and they were super nice and telling me more about Taiwan and their life experiences. It's like kind of spooky up here, you guys. Like the vibes are ominous. There's this weird, I don't know if you can hear that, but like you can hear the wind blowing. It's really cloudy. You cannot see anything, but it does feel really high up. And so I ended up staying there for sunset. I really wanted to see what it would look like when the town was more lit up. The views right now are absolutely like stunning. I can see everything is really clear up there. It's like you're walking up into a cloud, and then at the very top it's so high that like you're just in a cloud perpetually. And there were like me and like 3 other guys up there who were just, I don't know, we were just talking, and I was practicing my Chinese. Super nice crowd and very like peaceful vibes. But look at this view. It's actually breathtaking. I realized I look like such a like tourist because I walked up with my literal like boba cup in like my school backpack. Like I'm about to pull up to like the mall right now, and then the guys up there were wearing like actual hiking shoes and their actual hiking backpacks, so that's fun. I've never seen anything like this ever. I think even, I hate to say it, but it beats the views in Positano, Italy. Especially because it's usually so crowded there. There's like so many tourists, you can take a quick picture and then you're gonna need to leave anyways. Here you can just sit down, listen to the cicadas, listen to nature, and look out into like a beautiful horizon. I think I will stay halfway on the mountain because you get the view, but if you go higher, like you can't really see anything, so. Okay, the sun is setting. I don't want to look directly at the sun, but look at the beautiful colors it creates. I didn't know Earth was this pretty. And Taipei is over there. Wow, just wow. I've been journaling a little bit, but yeah. And I went back down. I was super tired from walking and climbing up all those stairs, so I got a quick dinner, just some rice and beef from one of the shops that was open, and explored a little bit more. Went to go see the tea house one more time at night, and then finally got back on the bus to Taipei.